Good morning, gang. It's Turbo Tuesday in the 55 plus DDPY senior community. But this one I'm actually making today, I will additionally share over on my wall, up on my YouTube, a couple of other places, because I think it's that relevant to all ages that want breakthrough in their health. So, and Turbo Tuesday means we're going to talk specifically about fitness. So if that's an area of your life that you want breakthrough, it doesn't matter what your age is, you're going to want to make some changes. So I'm going to quickly share a few things with you. This is, by the way, about tracking our progress. And the list that DDP himself puts out, Coach Diamond Dallas Page, I call him Coach, Diamond Dallas Page, what he puts out as the list covers all the different things, but specifically the importance of tracking your progress so you actually know when you can celebrate different things along your journey. And you know if you're giving enough effort, or maybe you need to give a little more effort. The tracking is like our blueprint to the journey that we're on, right? And knowing if we're going to arrive where we wanted to be in the time frame that we wanted, right? So we win one workout at a time, one day at a time, one meal at a time, right? That's how we're going to win, but it's going to be in documentation. So I'm going to pull an example, a personal example, to give you on what that changed in my life when I went from, I had basically zero mobility when I started with DDPY on January 20th, 2022. I'd had an accident, damaged both knees 9 years previous. I just kept dialing back my life for 9 years, you guys. Smaller malls, refusing more invitations that had something to do with a lot of shopping or walking or going to zoos or theme parks, anything that required a lot of walking. I just kept dialing it back. So when I started, seriously, even if I was delivering food across the street to someone, I took the golf cart and they'd say, "Oh, you came on your golf cart." And I'd say, "Oh, yeah." I never said a word about the fact that the pain level was so high that if I would have walked across the street with that food, it would have been crazy amount of pain. So for me, when I started, even though I had morbid obesity, over 250 some pounds, and I can't remember my BMI, but 43 or something, morbid obesity BMI numbers, all those numbers were rough, right? But all I really cared about was being able to walk. So when I started documenting, one of the things I personally set as documentation important to my journey was specifically to walk again. So I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share what Dallas is showing all of us to do, the real important things, you guys, that are available to all of us. All the tools that we all can be using. Okay, so I'm going to take you on, because this, by the way, what you're looking at right now is the landing page. So if you have the app, whether you log in from your phone, your iPad, a computer, wherever you want, a smart TV, wherever you want to log in, you're always going to land on your landing page. This is my own virtual office. It's where my own workouts are. This is where I track my weight, measurements. Everything is tracked in your space, all for you, right? But with that said, the number one thing when you land on every single time is the list. It's large, you can't miss it. Now you can scroll down the page and see everything else and start clicking around, but it's that important that they have it on the front. And if you go through that, it says it's 9 minutes and 27 seconds long. I'm telling you, it's a game changer to your life. So I highly recommend you all log on to your app today. Take that 9 minutes and 27 seconds. You know you're going to spend it some way today, maybe watching a movie tonight, whatever. Take 9 minutes and 27 seconds to listen to the full layout that Dallas gives us for our breakthroughs. It's powerful, powerful stuff. Okay, so I'm going to share this in a second, but okay, so this is Turbo Tuesday. I already showed you guys, you're going to your landing page. The list is your starting point. And for all of us, it's great to go back to our foundation at all times. Remember the foundation that we're building our health on, right? So that's why going back to that list, spending that 9 minutes and 27 seconds, you guys, is absolutely vital, right? Okay, I'm going to share one thing. I shared with you that mobility was my challenge. So it was a goal. What you're looking at right here, I just happened to pull 8 months off of documentation. I have documentation like crazy, right? But what you're looking at here, and of course, every single day, I also did one DDPY workout in addition to my walking. And the reason I did the workouts is because that's what gave me the flexibility, mobility, helped healing with my knees, all of the things that were vital for my breakthrough. So I did one workout every single day on the app. And of course, some of them were in the bed, some of them were chair workouts, some of them were chair to stand workouts, and others were, I worked my way up to actually doing some of the advanced workouts, right? But here's, when you're looking at this sheet right here, you're seeing on January 20th to January 26th, 2022. The green column is the steps I was able to take. Now, what's amazing about the green column, you guys, is those numbers. Like it says Thursday, I walked 3,011 steps. You guys need to know, I went out 3 times a day to be able to get up to that. In other words, I went out in the morning and I got about 1,000 steps. I drove my golf cart to a spot that had lots of benches. So I would walk a few steps, then sit on a bench, walk a few steps, sit on a bench. By the time I would get to 1,000 steps, I was in so much pain, it's like I got to go back home. So everything in the green for that week, those numbers reflect me going out 3 times to be able to even hit that number for the day. That's how far I was from being able to walk. Now you look at 8 months later on the right, where you're looking at all the gold column. That is on September 1st to September 7th. Those are the days that I documented the steps that I took. The one thing that I find absolutely incredible and blew my mind, this is why documentation is so important, you guys. On Wednesday of that week, so Wednesday, September 7th, look at the number of steps. By the way, all the gold zone was just going out one time a day, and I could nail that number of steps 8 months later. But when you look at Wednesday, September 7th, and you see 21,749 steps I took that day. That day I went with a cousin to one of the Disney theme parks. We were going all day. We only stopped one time for a quick lunch. So the lunch probably amounted to me sitting down 20 or 30 minutes max. All the rest of the day was either standing in line or going through rides and running all around the theme park. We got back to his car. I looked down at my step counter and I saw that it said that I had just walked 21,748 steps that day. Would I have believed that on January 20th, 8 months previous? I would have to say no, because the most I could do was about 1,000 steps and then go back home and rest, right? So the documentation that is talked about, you guys, is absolutely vital. You're only going to know that you're having breakthroughs if you're documenting your journey. I had no way of believing, like ever actually, that I would do over 2,100 steps in a day. I mean, really, my goal was to hit 10,000 steps a day. But here's how weird it was, you guys. My goal sheet, my SmackDown goal sheet said every week, Pam Riley will take one more step a day than the week before. So that was my measurement. In other words, 7 steps. So every week I just made sure I did 7 more steps than the week before. And those just kept accumulating, right? And over time I was able to go a little higher, never dreaming that 8 months in I would hit 21,700 something, right? But I'm telling you guys, listen closely to everything that's on the list on your app today. He didn't put it there They didn't put it there as a front and center on our app to see every time we logged in, we're looking at it. They didn't put it there just because it's just a casual advertisement for DDPY. It's the secret sauce. So have a great Turbo Tuesday, you guys. We'll see you for Wellness Wednesday, which of course is going to be always Wednesday is always about our nutrition pillar. But this particular talk I will share in multiple places because I believe it's that important that people realize the value of the list. Track our progress, you guys. That's how we're going to know we're making success, and it won't be just hypothetical success. It'll be exact, recorded, documented. You got this, you guys. Love you. Have a fabulous Tuesday. Catch you later. Bye-bye.